Hey guys, welcome back. So we are looking at the top startup VC news for the week in Gen AI. So these are some of the news that you might have read through. We are going to look at in some greater detail what this news is about. So the first one was Databricks has agreed to buy out a generative AI startup called MosaicML for valued at 1.3 billion. So basically what Databricks intend to do is Databricks said deal would combine its AI technology with Mosaic's ML model, allowing the business to simplify fast way to retain control, security and ownership over other valuable data without cost. So Databricks said it has agreed to buy this for a 1.3 billion in an effort to build an enterprises to use open source AI model. The deal comes at a time when AI dominating the tech industry, with rapid AI thus comes from big tech including Google and Microsoft. VCs are pouring billions into AI startups in the recent months. So San Francisco based MosaicML provides software tool designed to make it cheaper to carry out AI work, which often involves AI training algorithms on huge troves of data using expensive computer chips. The company makes money selling tools to firms that want to develop their own custom AI system. So what they are talking about is if you want to build your own custom LLM, that's basically how MosaicML makes money. So Databricks said its AI technology with Mosaic's ML platform, allowing business to create what we already looked at. So Databricks, which sells software tools for building AI systems, that has been an advocate for AI tools, which it argues would rival the players such as OpenAI and Google are offering. Release the open source foundation models, which is the category of core technology behind service models. So MosaicML had raised 64 million till date from Lux Capital and other investors. So this is the MosaicML page. I'll attach it in the comments. You can go ahead and read through. So basically you can see how you can, this is their foundation series. One is the $7 billion parameter and the other one is the $30 billion parameter trained. So it's open source license models, easy to integrate LLMs into application, and there is an interface to learn and the training. So let's also look at their blog where they have talked about you can actually try it out on Hugging Face directly and play around with it and see how this would work. And also this is what it talks about. So if you want to start using MPT 30 billion in production, there are several ways to customize and deploy it using MosaicML. So via fine-tuned domain-specific pre-training or training from scratch, you can always own the final model weights and the data is never stored on their platform. So it's you need to pay per GPU pricing per minute, talks to host endpoints for 30 billion instruct and 7 billion instruct using the Python API, and standard pricing per 1K tokens. So deploy custom models either on MosaicML compute or in your own private VPC using optimized inference stack. So pricing is per GPU per minute, so you only pay for the compute you use. And this is what they talk about. So basically what their training data is made up of. So we have already looked at the training data for other ML like common CCI and the other data we looked at in the Lambda series. And for OpenAI, we have also looked at what Wikipedia and other data sources they use to train. So basically the tokens that are there, the proportion and the effective tokens and the epochs. And this is what it talks about, context window fine tuning. And yeah, it talks about the 7 billion versus 30 billion model here, and it compares with other one, Llama or Falcon. So these are the other two models they are comparing against. And I think this is what it talks about, Influencer Starter Edition and privacy. And they also talk about cost to fine tune on $1 billion 1 billion tokens with MosaicML, what it would take. Similarly, cost to train with MosaicML, if you on your own private data, if you want to fine tune your model, so this would be the cost and the days it would take. Similarly, yeah, that's all this covers here. And the other news I wanted to cover from this was uh, so we have something called Inflection AI. So this company raised 1.3 billion from Reid Hoffman, who is the LinkedIn co-founder, Bill Gates, and Nvidia. And basically Inflection AI that makes a kind and a supportive chatbot called Pi. So you can actually go and play around with their Pi. That's, I think it's free to play around with it. And the deal values the startup at 4 billion upon a person familiar with the matter who did not want to be identified. Again, Nvidia is used for this. So they are using supercomputer from Nvidia H100 chips. So the CEO is from DeepMind. So you can look up his profile. He was previously with the DeepMind. And Inflection co-founders include high-profile Silicon Valley figures who was co-founders of Google's influential intelligence lab DeepMind. He started the company last year. Reid Hoffman, the co-founder of LinkedIn and a partner at Greylock Partners. The company has a star-studded list of investors from Reid Hoffman, Microsoft, Bill Gates, former Google CEO Eric Schmidt, and Nvidia Corp. So Nvidia stocks sold about 180% this year, in part to the demand for AI. Even in the era of an investor obsession with AI, Inflection deal is remarkable in its scale. The funding round brings the total value raised by the company at 1.35 billion. It did not disclose how much of it is cash and how much is it in the form of value, such as credits for technology that power AI tool. So Inflection AI is working with CoreWeave and Nvidia to bring what is called the world's largest computing cluster with 22,000 Nvidia H100 chips, which are intended for use with LLM in particular. So the CEO called the personalized AI services the most transformational tool of our lifetime in a statement. So this is truly the Inflection, and Nvidia CEO also made a comment on this. So that's basically what I wanted to cover here. And there were more news. So the other big news was Typeface. It is now valued at 1 billion thanks to Google and Salesforce, right? So rapid advancements in AI race has led to venture capital firms pouring in billions, hoping to replicate the success of OpenAI ChatGPT. So San Francisco-based GenAI's platform, Typeface, is one of the latest beneficiaries of the funding room. Offers a Gen AI platform created at enterprises, announced close to 100 billion Series B led by Salesforce. Other backers include Lightspeed, Google, and Melno Ventures. With this latest round, Typeface is valued at 1 billion, so it will go towards user growth, innovation, and scaling its Gen AI platform. So previously they had raised 65 million Series A funding for the startup. So generative AI, basically they are explaining what generative AI is. Most of you know what generative AI is, so I'm not going to go into that. So it was founded by former Meta, Adobe, and Microsoft designers and managers to introduce its public-facing application integrating OpenAI's GPT-4, Stable Diffusion, Google Vertex AI, and Azure by combining the strengths of generative AI platforms with our own brand specialized knowledge. We have eliminated the barrier for entry to harness generative AI. So Abhay Prasanis, the founder and the CEO at Typeface, said in a press release. So basically generative AI could add equivalent to, they're talking something about the McKinsey report, which talked about the beneficiary, the total impact of Gen AI, and that's it. So there were more smaller news here. One is ThoughtSpot acquired Mode Analytics for 200 million to empower data teams to redefine business intelligence, and Runway. So if you have used to create videos, so Runway is a great tool to play around with it. Currently they also give you a free trial, so you can give this a try. Again, Nvidia was part of the funding. I think Microsoft was also part of the funding, I don't know. And CalypsoAI raised 23 million to add quad rails to generative AI models. And LoRa, a generative AI app, is an audio interface to help you learn English, raised 9.25 million. And Scriptic got 5.7 million. It expands the phone first generative AI content library. And VCs also warned about over regulation of Gen AI in the draft EU rules. So I generally have this newsletter out every Sunday. So you can subscribe to this. I will provide a link to the newsletter below. Saturday or Sunday is when you see this newsletter coming. So if you want a summary of all the latest AI news for the week and the funding news that happened during the week in a 7-day window, this newsletter will cover it. I hope this helps. Thank you for joining.